Welcome to another episode of WTF Cinema.
Hi everybody, it's good to be back. In our last video, Gary stated that today's film was supposed to be Happiness of the Katakuris, and he was right. It was supposed to be. Before I encountered this festering pile of cinematic putrescence, before I discovered this atrocity set to celluloid, this is Superman 3. And right there is normally where I'd put the title card. But there's a problem with that too. Now, I've seen the first 4 Superman movies. I have not seen the most recent one, and some of the problems with this film come from its comparison to the others in its series. The title card is no exception. Now, here to help us with a new little game, take it away, Cookie Monster.
Hi, hey, do you want to play a game now? Okay, here, I help. One of these things is not like the other things. One of these things just doesn't belong. Can you guess which thing is not like the other thing before I finish my song?
Our film opens with Richard Pryor. I like Richard Pryor. I do. But in this movie, he is the least funny man I've ever seen in my entire life. He's horrendous. He's horrible. Every time he tries to be funny, it fails miserably. Our opening sequence, for some reason, is actually a long, slow series of slapstick jokes. You know, Superman. In order to make this a little bit more palatable for you guys, I've changed the soundtrack and I've sped it up a bit. Let's watch. Apparently Richard Pryor is a computer genius, despite never having touched a computer before, being unemployed and unemployable for the last 35 weeks. Now here's another thing about this movie that sticks out from the previous. Lois Lane, who is the love interest in the past 2 movies, and the next one, gets the hell out of Dodge.
Well, Clark, you know, some people get to go all the way to Smallville, and then there are others of us who have to go to Bermuda.
Even Margot Kidder, who plays Lois Lane, knows how horrible this movie is going to be, and her character is in it for about 5 minutes. In the beginning, she says, "Bye, going on vacation." At the end, "Hey, I'm back from vacation." Another actor that's also missing is Gene Hackman, playing Lex Luthor. He's not mentioned, and he doesn't show up in this movie, despite the fact that he's the primary villain in the other 3.
Actually, it's probably more like $143.80 and 1/2 cents. There are always fractions left over in big corporations, but they round it down to the lowest whole number.
Well, here's a plot device I've never heard of. The fact that companies chop off fractions of a cent. Here's my question. If every company is actually aware of the fact that they have to cut off fractions of cents in order for the payroll to make sense, why don't they have a program already in place to capture those fractions of a cent, roll them all in together, and put them into something the company can use? Put them into some kind of petty cash fund or something. Because apparently, writing programs to get that money is easy. I've seen it done in at least 3 movies now. Richard Pryor is about to show us hacking computers 101. See, what you want to do is type in the phrase, "override all security." And you're in. That's all it takes. If I'd known it was this simple, I could have been breaking into banks electronically for years now. Part of the plot is Clark Kent is going back to Smallville for a high school reunion. Now, on the way there, he comes across a chemical plant that's on fire, so of course he's got to help out. the writers of this film have run out of clever places for Clark Kent to turn into the Man of Steel, because he does it in the back of this occupied police car. I'm sorry, but if you were sitting in a car, wouldn't you notice if somebody got in your back seat, changed their clothes completely, and then got out? Okay, the movie spends quite a bit of time telling us about this acid. It's very special acid. When you heat it up to a certain temperature, kablooey, alright? It's what I like to call plot device acid, because it comes into play near the end of the movie. And of course the firefighters lose all water pressure. Oh no! What will we do? So Superman flies to the nearest lake, freezes a portion of the lake, picks it up, flies it back to the chemical factory, hits it with his heat vision, and it turns into rain. I would have been okay with it melting. I would have been okay with it coming down in a deluge. But this is not how rain is made. You don't melt ice and get rain. That's how you get water. Rain is a much more complicated system. I don't know all the mechanics, but it's complicated. Trust me. Okay, I want to stop right here for a second. I want to say, I don't think every single aspect of this film is horrible. Most of them, yes, but there are two things in this film that I actually like. First of all, Christopher Reeve plays a great Superman. He's in all 4 movies, and he's really good at playing not only Superman, but Clark Kent as well. Clark Kent is this nice but kind of bumbling, insecure guy, which is great because it's a contrast to the sheer confidence and superiority that Superman is, you know? Clark Kent's very, anything I can do to help. Superman's very, I'm here to save the day. And he manages to play both without either one looking ridiculous. I'm gonna scratch this right here. Also, the character of Lana Lang, who apparently Clark Kent went to high school with. She plays the love interest in this movie, and I like her. She's sweet, she's a single mom, and she's the only female character up till this point in the series who prefers Clark Kent to Superman. Lois Lane has always liked it the other way around. Oh, Clark, you're fine, but Superman... The problem with her is, she never shows up again after this movie. Not a word, just gone. They don't say why, she's just not there. So apparently Richard Pryor's scheme to steal money from the company is noticed by this butler-looking guy.
Run it by me just one more time.
$85,000.
Missing.
Embezzled, Mr. Webster. Stolen from the firm.
By whom? That's what I want to know. By whom? Whom?
Here, get a hold of yourself. Nobody else ever will.
I don't know. Whom? In the old days, it was simple. We kept books, we had ledgers, we knew what was going in and what was paid out. If somebody wanted to rob you, well, they'd come in with a gun and say, stick 'em up. Now they get these blasted computers.
Okay, if you don't know anything about computers, then how did you know that he was stealing money from the company? This is money that's supposed to be unaccounted for. That's why it was safe to steal. So how did you discover that somebody was stealing it if you don't use computers? I'm waiting. Afraid we're out of time this week. Join us next week as we finish off this wondrous review of this remarkable film. I say remarkable in that, oh my god, I can't believe somebody made it kind of way.
Thank you for watching WTF Cinema. Until next time, what the f***, man?